Hello all and welcome, and I am the MGTOW philosopher, and in this video I would like to talk about an article I came across today entitled, Study Debunks Feminism, Women Still Attracted to Toxic Masculinity. You don't say! Big shock, huh? That even though women cry and whine and moan about how horrible men are and how evil masculinity is, it's so toxic, not only do they still love it in men, they adopt it for themselves so that they can be more successful in life. They try to make their daughters more masculine. They try to act more masculine themselves. And even as they decry masculinity, even the most horrid feminist loves it in a man. She loves it even as she decries it. I think it's hilarious. So, despite feminism, female biology remains the same. Nah, really? Feminist claptrap doesn't trump biology? Really? Ideology doesn't trump biology? Wow, that's amazing. Shocking. So anyway, let's see what this article has to say, shall we? And here we have this picture of a large and in-charge guy in his very nice, expensive suit, and these two brain-dead feminists to the right, who will no doubt be enthralled by his good looks and his very expensive suit if and when they see him. Oh, but it's all a social construct. There's no biology involved, no. So let's get to the meat of the story, shall we? Women are attracted to confident men, comfortable with their masculinity, according to a new study which debunks third-wave feminism and its war on testosterone. By the way, let me just add that there's no such thing as third-wave feminism, no such thing as second-wave feminism, no such thing as first-wave feminism. They're just all feminism. There was just this one broad, and I forgot her name. She wrote a book on feminism, and she applied these terms herself as her interpretation of, historically speaking, different aspects in her own mind of feminism that they developed in these kind of waves. But feminists themselves didn't create or identify these terms. It was just one broad. But then later, feminists kind of latched onto these terms and started to use them themselves, because it's a very good way to manipulate people, to convince them that there's actually some kind of different type of feminism. So that the first wavers can essentially decry the second wavers, and the second wavers can decry the third wavers as crazy nut jobs. Oh, but that's not our feminism. That's a different kind of feminism. That's the objectionable kind. Ours is perfectly acceptable. So that you, mouth-breathing morons out there, will accept some types of feminism. Because there are some more rationally minded women out there who see that third-wave feminism, that women who identify as third-wave feminists act crazy. They act crazy. But really, they're just expressing feminism in its most raw form. Those are just women being honest feminists, while your first and second wavers, well, they're not so honest, really. There is no first wave, second wave, or third wave. It's all feminism. It's all the same thing. Don't you get it? The women who are just yammering that these older broads and these broads that want to that say, oh, I'm a first wave and a second wave feminist, but I'm not a third wave. They are just wanting to maintain their control on society and maintain the narrative, okay? But these chicks that they're calling third wave, these are just the most honest. These are just the most honest of all feminists. So keep that in mind. No difference whatsoever. There's no such thing as first, second, and third wave. Utter nonsense. Goes on to say, researchers analyzed the user-submitted rankings of men whose photos were uploaded to Tube Crush, a British hot or not type site, and found that macho men, particularly ones in suits, still reign supreme on the totem pole of sexual attraction. Yeah, that's a real big surprise. Moving on. Popular images also often made sure to focus on a man's biceps, pectorals, and chest. I thought women didn't care about those kind of things. They don't care about looks. They don't care about appearance. They care about what's inside, his soul, his spirit, and of course what's in his wallet, particularly if he was muscular in those areas. The study concluded, women care about that? No. Women are such deep creatures. They care about emotion and feeling and spirituality. Muscles don't matter to them. Many accompanying comments also emphasized a man's physique and supposed sexual prowess. Really? Oh, geez. Women being so base and pedestrian as to talk about things like a man's sexual prowess just based on how he looks? No, women are above those kind of things. You must be mistaken in your data. This can't possibly be true. Shocking information here. Goes on to say, the study lends credibility to the belief that men and women are hardwired through evolutionary biology to be attracted to certain traits of the opposite sex, traits that were developed during the hunting and gathering days of human tribes, in which survival of the species depended on strong genetics. No, men and women have been, via evolution, they've had different roles chosen for them through natural selection? No. That can't be. Impossible. Men have their roles because of natural selection, and women have their roles because of natural selection. Men and women are the way they are because of evolution? That can't be possible. I thought evolution was a lie. Doesn't the left hate that word? Isn't it BS? Nah, men and women are supposed to be the same. We've evolved the same way. Weren't we doing the same things when we evolved? Weren't the women out hunting with us? They weren't back in the cave taking care of the baby and cooking and doing all that mundane, unexciting stuff that they so hate? But somehow they developed, evolutionarily speaking, to be the same as us, right? Isn't that what we're supposed to believe? Huh? Now you're telling us that men and women have different roles? that are reinforced by actual biological differences that came about via evolution? No, I don't believe it. Goes on to say, women in particular are naturally attracted to physically active, risk-taking men because their potential children would adapt better to the environment with the alpha male's stronger, more attractive genes compared to those of, say, a low-testosterone soy boy. Of course, admittedly, back in those times, I doubt there were very many soy products, which would also explain why there were more manly, strong men back then than there are now. And of course, strength was more of a physical necessity back then. But still, soy products ain't helping. But wait, this can't be true. You're saying that women are physically hardwired to prefer certain traits over other traits? But I thought that was all just a social construct. None of that's real. There's no such thing as hardwiring. Why, feminists and the left say so. This must all be poppycock. Can't be true. The article goes on to say, that's why women chase after the good gene bad boys while friend-zoning the nice guys who do everything third-wave feminists say, but still can't attract women. This is funny. So even the third-wave feminists don't want the beta cuck simp wimp soy boy pussy boys? That can't be. Aren't feminists running around saying all the time that that's what they want, but they don't want it? That can't be possible. Feminists contradicting themselves? Impossible! And generally speaking, the only time a nice guy finally gets a girl is when she starts to prioritize the security and provisioning of a good dad, a.k.a. the Zuckerberg lookalike, with an engineering degree over the good gene alpha male, who still might be the daddy, by the way, who refuses to wed a woman he easily picked up during her Finding Myself trip to Jamaica. This is hilarious. Yeah, she has that biological imperative to get the good gene bad boy because he's strong and she's hardwired to want a strong provider who's going to pass on good genes that make the child likely to be more adaptable. Oh, but wait a second. I thought there was no hardwiring going on here. What's happening? This can't be true. Of course, the reality is that only for the past, 100 or so years have we been so civilized and decadent that the kind of qualities that exist within your alpha bad boy are really no longer needed in the sense of money making to the degree that they were, say, 100 years ago. Now, of course, certain traits are still important. Aggressiveness, competitiveness, adaptability. But just as often as you see a guy who fits the bad boy main ending up as a successful guy, you just as often see them ending up as losers whose only ability in life is their strength, their stamina, their physical good looks, and nothing else. So half of these alpha male bad boys are losers, which accounts for why there's so many of them out there for women to be attracted to, but they're bums, and they can't provide. So she eventually settles for the beta cuck good boy who really doesn't turn her on at all. But I thought women were such noble creatures, and they saw beyond. They saw beyond the outer appearance to the spirit within. They could see your spirit animal, that you were a lovely, wonderful dolphin man, that your spirit animal was a dolphin, and that you're a beautiful dolphin, and that you were a beautiful man, and everything about you was beautiful, and she didn't care about how you looked. This article is just all propaganda. It can't be true. It goes on to say, in other words, a couple of decades of feminism, which is already fading in popularity. No, this is a mistake. Now, the writer of this has made a mistake because feminism is not fading in popularity. Women have just trying to redefine it or change. Not even trying to redefine it. They're changing the name. That's all. These feminists are now calling themselves anti-feminists, but they're still feminists. They call themselves egalitarian feminists or egalitarians, but they're just changing what they're called because the term itself has become unpopular, but they are still feminists. They have just made language and the definitions of things so fluid, and they've created an environment where everything is friggin' relative and so open to interpretation that it's so easy to fool people. Oh no, I'm not a feminist. I'm an anti-feminist. And yes, I believe that men and women are equal. Say what? Isn't that feminism? No, that's anti-feminism. Okay. Which is already fading in popularity, can't override thousands of years of evolutionary biology, telling women to chase after the very toxic masculinity demonized by feminists. Masculinity, by the way, which they themselves adopt to become more successful in today's modern world. Don't forget that. They just want to demasculinize men, but they want to adopt male traits at the same time themselves, while at the same time taking away masculinity from men and making them less able to compete against them, the feminists. Diabolical, isn't it? Oh, but that can't be the case. Feminism is just about equality. It's not about becoming superior to men. Oh, this evil article. Thus, it should be no surprise, then, that the feminist war against basic biology has resulted in a distorted dating market in which roughly the top 20% of men attract the majority of women because the other 80% of males are too influenced by the false prophets of feminism to turn a woman on. And of course, this is partially true, but it's not the whole truth, obviously. Another part of the problem is that women essentially make so much money now, in most cases they make more than men, that their options are limited because the majority of women will not date down, meaning they will not date a man who makes less money than them. So they've automatically limited themselves to the top 20, 30% of men. And the fact that feminism has so cucked and pussified so many men, you combine those two things, and it limits the amount of men that women would be attracted to even further. So you end up with only about 20% of men out of all men that women will be attracted to because you got too many soy boys out there, too many wimps, too many cuck guys who swallowed the feminist Kool-Aid and are trying to be as wimpy and girly as possible. And then you have the fact that women are making so much money nowadays that also limits the number of available men. But wait a second, that can't be right. I thought that women were so deep and emotional and nurturing and such wonderful, open, lovely creatures. They couldn't care about such mundane, shallow things as appearances and how much money a man makes, because they're always running around saying that, oh, it's horrible for you to body shame us. You should care about women because of what's inside, even if it is Lord. You should care about us because of the inner us, not because of how we look. But you're not telling me now that women say one thing and do another. Oh, that's impossible. It's impossible. Feminists are the most honest, rational creatures on earth. It can't be true. Can't be true. The article goes on to say, of course, that's not to downplay the growing narcissism of Instagram-addicted young women who overvalue themselves due to the dopamine hits they get from sexually frustrated beta orbiters who, like their social media pictures and posts, leading to a tenfold increase of attention these girls would otherwise never receive in real life. Nah. Artificial attention from men via social media that would never happen in the real world, that they're only getting from thirsty beta cuck-wimp guys, is trebling their sexual marketplace value in their own mind, making it 10 times more even than it really is in reality. And women are now becoming deluded somehow and thinking that they're worth many times what they actually are. No, and they're pricing themselves out of the market. No, that can't be. Women are not that delusional. They're not that unrealistic and irrational. Impossible. This assessment can't possibly be true. Women are so much more rational and reasonable than that. They couldn't possibly be fooled into believing their worth is 5, 10 times greater than it objectively is in reality just by some silly social media app. Can't be. I mean, really, women overvaluing their sexual marketplace value? Nah, impossible. Inconceivable. But it's fake attention, an illusion created by smartphones and social media, which are making men and women more disconnected than ever when combined with the us versus them mentality of third-wave feminism. By the way, I wish the writer of this, the only thing I wish this writer would stop doing is using the term third-wave feminism as if to somehow paint that first and second wave feminism are acceptable. They're all the same thing. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Third wave feminists are just the most honest feminists. They're all the same. And by the way, this is, of course, a contributing factor, like many others, as to why men and women are not getting together so much and why there's so much friction between the sexes, the great increase in women's salaries, the pussification of men, becoming more like women, and the disconnected atmosphere created by all these social media apps and people becoming literally married to their mobile devices. It all contributes to the problem. To continue, the first step is to unlearn what feminized conditioning has taught you to the point of it becoming an ego investment in your personality. Right, this is where indoctrination reaches a point where you personally identify with your ideology and belief system. Your ego, your id, becomes tied to what you believe, and that belief becomes so much a part of yourself and your logic and reasoning centers that it is like a part of you now. Essentially, you're very much like a cult member who has to be re-educated. Wrote Rollo Tomasi in his book, The Rational Male. You need to become impervious to convenient accusations of misogyny or 1950s caveman thinking whenever you assert yourself. Right. Don't be a pussy. Don't let lefties, meaning feminists, shut you down with PC BS. Be a man. Think what you want to think. Be honest about what you want to think. And don't let other people bully you with political correctness. The article goes on to say, the truly positive masculine man sets himself apart from the matrix in spite of a world set against him. This unconscious meta-acknowledgement is what makes a woman and other men attracted to you as a vibrant, responsible, but firmly confident masculine man. Right. A real man doesn't give a crap what other people think about him. He lives his life his own way. You like me? Fine. You don't like me? Bugger off. I could give a crap. And that's what it means to be a real man. To not give a crap what other people think and to live for yourself and to not attach your ego, your personality to any kind of ideology, to think for yourself. And it concludes by saying you have to genuinely live it to set an example of it. meaning to be a real man and have integrity, to look at yourself and see yourself, respect yourself, to have self-esteem, you have to live as a man. And that means not caring what other people think, not being concerned about what other people feel. You be honest with others and yourself. You live a genuine life and be genuine yourself all the time, and people will respect that. And from everything it said in this article, while women continue to decry masculinity as toxic and evil, it doesn't stop them from adopting masculine traits themselves so that they can become more competitive in this world, while at the same time encouraging men to let go of masculine traits so that women can be more competitive against those men. But at the same time, they cry, where have all the real men gone? Well, they're sucking down soy milk by the gallon had they have the testosterone levels of a 100-year-old man. You ladies want to know what happened to the real man? You destroyed them with your feminism and your toxic ideology and your toxic femininity. So, women say one thing, but do and want another. That's a big shocker. I can't believe it. Let me know what you think in the comments section of this video. And please like, subscribe, and if you are feeling so inclined, you can donate to my Patreon. You will find a link both in the description of this video and in the last 20 seconds. I am the MGTOW philosopher, and I wish you a good day. Take care.